Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Xander Foster and today I'm talking about binders. No, not that kind of binder. Today I'm talking about chest binders. A lot of trans masculine people use binders to compress their chest to appear more masculine. And since I do have a lot of trans masculine viewers on this channel, I wanted to make this video talking about my experience with binding and sort of the do's and don'ts when binding. My best experience was using the tri-top chest binder from Underworks. I tried other types of binders and I just always came back to this one. It worked the best for me. I know that now GC2B is sort of the big dogs when it comes to binding, but back when I was binding, Underworks was where it was at. Back when I was binding, Underworks binders came in 3 colors, the first of which was black, and I probably had like 6 of these before I had top surgery just because I wore so much black clothing, and to see the strap of black underneath my shirt when my collar sort of moved over, it didn't look that weird. This color looked the most like a tank top or an undershirt. Underworks also came in white, which in theory is good if you're gonna wear white clothes. I never wore white t-shirts because I was always scared someone was gonna see my binder underneath. The problem with having a white binder is binders get really dirty. You kind of have to bleach that thing and keep it really clean if you don't want it to show through your clothes. The third color Underworks had was nude. I think it's kind of funny that they call this nude because this is only really nude if this is your skin color. This color is pretty close to my skin colors. To have this under a lighter shirt really helped me out. If I put the black one underneath a lighter shirt, it might show up more than this one would. So obviously, if you do have access to a real binder, that is the safest and the best way to bind. It compresses your chest the best, and it is also the safest method. I do know that not everyone has access to binders. Not everyone can afford them. I'm gonna leave some links in the description on where to get binders if you do not have the means to pay for them. I've heard some people say that they can't get a binder because they can't have it shipped to their house, or they don't have a credit card so they can't buy one online. And so my advice for that situation is to go to the grocery store. I know, stay with me. Go to the grocery store and buy a prepaid Visa gift card. You can buy these cards with cash and just tell the cashier how much money you want on them, and then you can use them to buy anything, even stuff online. Then you go online, you just type in the information on the back of the card the same way you would a credit card or a debit card, and you use that as your method of payment. Now, if you're worried about a package showing up at your doorstep and having to explain it to your parents, then I suggest shipping it to a friend's house. When I was about 15 or 16, a friend of mine didn't want to ship a binder to his house because he didn't want to come out to his parents. And so I talked to my mom and she said it was totally okay if he had it shipped to our house, and then I just gave it to him once it arrived. I do want to say that if you do not have access to a binder, it is not worth binding unsafely. Using things like tape or ace bandages to compress your chest can be really harmful and really screw up your body. And just trust me that 10 years from now, you are going to be so grateful that you didn't bind unsafely. The reason I have a little bit less clothing on than I do in most of my videos is I want to show you guys how I put on my binder before I had top surgery. I'm gonna put on the black one so you can more easily see the contrast between it and my skin. When you're putting on a binder, there's really only 2 ways to do it. You can either step into it, pull it up to about your waist, and then put the straps over your arms, or you can put it over your head like you would a tank top or a shirt. Before I started testosterone, I had really big hips and big thighs, and so stepping into it and pulling it up to my waist wasn't really an option. Now my shoulders are broader than my hips are, but I'm gonna show you guys how I used to put it on. So the first thing you're gonna do is stick your arms through the armholes just like you're putting on a shirt, and then pull the binder up to your neck. It's pretty important that you pull it up as high as possible because when you put it over your head, you want the bottom of the binder to be as far back as possible. And then you just stick your head through the middle of it. Because this is such a strong spandexy material, I sort of have to grab it with 2 hands and like shove my head through it. And then you get here, which is a great place to be. And then you sort of have to find the bottom of the binder where it's stitched and then unravel it and pull it down. I haven't put one of these on since I had top surgery, and it's so weird. Wow, this is so weird. If you have a pretty small chest, the best thing you can do is pull your chest up. So once you put on a shirt, it just looks like you have pec muscles. But I had a pretty large chest before I had top surgery. I'd say for my height and weight, it was not average. And so what I did every time I put on my binder was move my chest down and away from the center. And so I'd move like down and to the left and then down and to the right. Having this on is honestly one of the weirdest feelings ever. God, how hard it was to breathe in these things. If you have asthma and you are going to bind, I suggest bringing your inhaler everywhere you go. After I had top surgery and could finally breathe, I used my inhaler way less. And that just shows you that binding really screws with your breathing. Okay, I have to take this off because I can't breathe. Now I'm going to show you how to take a binder off. Now I've found that I can't really do the opposite of what I did to put it on because I would stretch the fabric trying to pull it over my head again. And so the easiest thing for me to do is slip my arms out first and then pull it over my head. And so that kind of looks like this. That was the hard part. And then you just pull it over your head. The memory of the pain associated with binding is sort of fading now, but I definitely remember that taking it off after a long day was the best feeling in the world. Speaking of taking off your binder, it's really important that you listen to your body. This means never binding more than 6 to 8 hours, never doing intense exercise in your binder, never sleeping in your binder, and taking breaks as often as possible. I was binding all through high school, and doing that from 6 in the morning until 3 or 4 in the afternoon was asking a lot of my body. And so if I ever needed a break, even for a couple minutes, I went to the nurse's office and just took it off and just breathed for a little while. One thing I want to stress is if binding is hurting you, then stop. Like I said, back when I was binding, Underworks was where it was at. I know that now GC2B seems to be the big name that's out there. Another company I've heard good things from is T Kingdom. They carry a lot of vest binders. If you're looking for something that's easier to put on, something with a zipper or with clasps, then I definitely suggest checking out T Kingdom. When you're shopping for a binder, be picky. I'm going to put some more information and resources on binding and binders in my description below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns surrounding binding or anything else, feel free to drop me a comment. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. And if you want to see more from me in the future, then subscribe. Stay sweet.